Ever read a passage in the Bible in the book of Matthew? Verily, when you pray, don't do it out on the street corners in the synagogues like the hypocrite do, because they just want people to show up and tell how great they is and then do things for Caesar's money, right? That when you pray, do it privately, and your Father that sees in private will reward you openly. And then when you step forward and tell everybody about your prayer, everyone will know that you are righteous and you are holy. Right. You won't do it for money. You'll do it for the Lord's Prayer. You'll do it the right way. You'll do it no matter what assholes do to you, whether if they ignore you, make you anonymous, have CIA members in Las Cruces. We can run them over in the parking lot of Best Buy and it doesn't exist. We can program people like we're programming a video game. You know what I'm saying? And then they act like this is not happening. I wouldn't be surprised if they took all my basketball surveillance and destroyed it because Barack Obama hated it and didn't want everybody to see what a good basketball player I was when I was young, because he's like fucking Sir Isaac Newton. Here's the tricky part. The big fig Newton wouldn't surprise me at all. And Rockefeller said, I'll give him the opportunity. I can't stand the fucker. It wouldn't surprise me at all. It wouldn't bother me at all. You wouldn't be able to see when I went through the lane. It was gorgeous. Dudes, I used to jump 12 to 13 feet. My friends would talk about it, Bob and all them. I jumped 12 to 15 feet into the air. And when I played against Mike, who was 6'6" with that 42-inch vertical, I had to finish on the other side of the rim. So I jumped from the right side of the basket about 12 to 13 feet away and take the ball and finish on the left side of the basket with the right hand off the glass. Yeah, it was... Bob and remember I told you Brett said that. We went to the park and we were fat and out of shape because we were married and all that, and tired and stressed out by Phoenix and the economy. And Brett sits there and goes, remember when you used to do all that stuff? And I was like, you remember when you made fun of that guy that played at ASU that was overweight and coached baseball or ref baseball games? And you said he couldn't do that because he's an old fat guy. And I said, no, I believe him because he went to ASU and he's and stuff. So you know that guy you made fun of? We're those old fat guys now, Brett. Shut up. It was funny. I was like, shut up. But in 2017, when I took on the military, I got myself down below 10% body fat and broad jumped out of that ditch. Okay, at 51 years old. So when I applied myself and wasn't, it wasn't my ex-wife that got me out of shape. It was, we can program people like we're programming a video game. Okay. It was NASA, it was Homeland Security, it was DARPA, it was all these assholes on TV doing marketing, having all the cute little kids at the hockey game so you'll all make lots of money. And it's wrong to do. He's really cute. Yeah, they are cute, but people don't care. People don't care. Have you ever seen Schindler's List with the little girl that looks like my mom in the coat that ends up dead in the meat wagon during the movie? Do you really think people that mass murder people over money care about children? Care if they live or die? They don't care. Trust me, Joe Biden does not care. Okay? Barack Obama doesn't care. Donald Trump doesn't care. If they cared, they would scream the Lord's Prayer from the mountaintops. They would Twitter the Lord's Prayer all over the world. They would YouTube and Facebook the Lord's Prayer all over the world as loud as they could at the top of their lungs. Of all the people laughing on the 6 o'clock news about the cute kids at the hockey games, really cared about cute kids at hockey games. It's true. They're insane. Okay. They're totally insane. I was sitting there watching this stuff talking about going to the amphitheater and what's the name of that place? El Paso. For Sunday service and thinking about Jesus in the book of Matthew and the model prayer. And we used to go to church with Natalie. Natalie hated it, and she fussed the whole time. And at St. Andrews, before they remodeled it, it was a quaint little just wooden inside chapel. It was real pretty. It was cute. It was adorable. But it was too small to make a lot of money. And I liked out Father Al. He was a gay man from Connecticut who started his Episcopal service in small communities down in Mexico, and he loved them, right? And he loved the kids. And they would gripe at Natalie because Natalie would get mad and mean. And so I'd take Natalie out into the little entryway and I'd let her play. And that's how we'd spend church. So I'd take Natalie out into the entryway and Natalie would pray. And I'd sit there, okay. Akmak Malaki, Bama. And then we got Noah. And Noah, Father Holland loved Noah. Because he said Noah was like the little Mexican kids in the place. Like Noah would get in the aisleway and dance and do his thing. He wasn't mean or vicious or too loud. He was just funny. Look, watch him. Look at him go. He did that everywhere. He did that at the talent show at the Latch School when I was working. Amy didn't have a video camera. She said, you know, they're doing Happy Talk, and Noah got up and did his own thing, and the lady's like, no, Noah, over here. And Noah's like, no, we're doing this. Everybody do your own dance. Come on, do your own thing. Improv. He's very funny. He's always been that way. And it was very funny. Father Holland loved Noah. And it drove all the church ladies mad. They got all pissed. They got rid of Father Holland because they didn't like the way he turned the kids loose. And he says, he thought this, what he said is, it's great. He goes, the only way to maintain a church is children. So the church has to be acceptable and accepting and tolerant and beautiful. It's kids being kids. And I was like, I like this guy. He's gay. I don't care. He's cool. He gets us. He gets us Mexicans. The kids are dancing in the aisleways. We got a good church. That's what he said. If there's kids dancing in the aisleways, in the aisles at a church, you know you got a good church. If there's no kids dancing in the aisles of the church, it's just a bunch of dead people trying to get in heaven and Tartuffe, right? So I really liked Father Al Holland. He was a good guy. We did I got pictures. I don't have any of him. Maybe Barbara does. When we all did the mystery dinner thing, where it was a Hawaiian prince thing, and my wife was the killer. It was funny. I was the Hawaiian chief guy. Yeah, it was cute. I had to wear a grass skirt and everything. It was funny. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, those days. And then Emily, when we took Emily to church, and most of that was at Santa Fe, but Emily was just such a good baby and a sweetheart. And she was just Plim, and she was so sweet. You'd take Emily to church, and she would just look around and be real cute. So everybody, all the old church ladies loved Emily at church. Kate never had to go or went. I'm sure Kate would have been a lot like Noah. Yeah, she would, because she used to dance naked on top of the coffee table. And Natalie said, you know what she's going to do when she grows up? Shut up, Natalie. It was funny. Yeah, my kids. And Crumb we never took Crumb to church, but Crumb didn't have to. Crumb had, every Sunday he had his brothers and sisters and would sit around and go, these guys are great, man. It was cool. For the 3 months he was with us, he just would sit around and watch them all do things and just sit around and watch them and just think, these guys are great. And I was like, Crumb, I'm inclined to agree. But that's church to me. And that's Good Friday to me. Is watching the kids love and be loved in return. And I hate hypocrisy. I hate when people put on a show. We love Jesus. You know how they all show and they show up and act like, oh, and the old hypocrite for money talks and they all, yeah, uh-huh. And God's plan for the stibble-dabble of the hooble-dabble of your apostate of your abomination. If you can't do this and guide your nation to victory over the devil with the conquering of the stinkle-stonkle-dunkle-donks. And you'd be like, fuck. Noah, what? Start dancing in the aisles. Natty, Bop Mom, Malaki, Emily, just be cute. Kate, put your clothes back on. She was so cute. That was funny. I'm just like, okay, act like you're not watching, ignore it. It's funny. She was hilarious. Yeah, Kate's a funny kid. Oh, they're all cute. They're adorable. They're all different. Kids are all different. We know that, that you love them all the same, but you appreciate them all differently. But with Amy's kids, I appreciated them all about the same. And with Patrick, I appreciated with Patrick the fact that he, when we were together, he understood everything I would tell him to try to be a good kid. What happened is the military used the self-centeredness of Kaylin Gilliard to play to his childlike instincts of being selfish and wanting to, He didn't want to have to deal with Amy because a lot of stuff was difficult, especially Natalie. And he left because his Aunt Kay said, he's had me for 9 years and he shouldn't have to adjust to having to share me with another woman and another child. which I said was complete bullshit because I want my son to be able to get married and be responsible for children and be patient and loving of children. And that's just idiot telling people to be selfish to where they can't understand how to share a life with a woman who has different ways of being raised and with children who are not always easy and don't sit there and say, do everything you want and everything you say, right? So that was complete bullshit. And then when Patrick got older, when he came back home, the one thing he did was do everything he could in his ability to protect Natalie from horrible sexual predators in the military. So he's a lot like his old man. And I understand that, and I'm proud of Patrick. I'm proud of Natalie for being kind and protecting of people that were bullied and being understanding and protecting of me and Patrick and the shit we had to deal with, and Noah for protecting kids from being bullied, and Emmy from being sweet and also, well, helping people be kind and not bully, and Kate for being a non-bullier. And then Crumb, I imagine, is a lot like his older siblings. So, someday soon we'll meet and hang out and we'll joke around and have a good time because he's a sharp little critter. I know that. I've talked to him in prayer. Okay, guys, so I love you very much. So get your Good Friday in order because David Rockefeller's video recording everything. And he tries to see greater than I see because I always tell people this, the Lord wishes you privacy and so do I. And I am the Spirit of the Lord. And David Rockefeller and NASA are not. Okay, guys? So don't worry about the hazing at Franklin High right now. Just forgive them 7 times upon infinity and stand up for the Lord's Prayer so you're not on the news trying to sell products for corporations. Okay, love you very much.